What up, everyone? This is Mr. Lord, Dr. Professor, Dark Joker, here with another edition of Traditional Fans with Opinions, where I'll give my reviews for whoever I watched, read, or played today. And who are Traditional Fans with Opinions? That is myself, and that is you, the viewers. With all that being said, on with the reviews. Jujutsu Kaisen, Season 3, Episodes 4 through 5. So in these episodes, first one, so Maki, returns to the Zenin clan household, to get a bunch of the first tools and all that, with, with Megumi technically being the head of the house. She does have the head's permission, but her father, Ogi, you know, Nalia, they all emptied it. Basically, their plan was to, accuse, basically Megumi, Maki, and Mai, and basically everyone being, traitors to Jujutsu Society. They would have them killed and basically usurp control of the clan. And so yeah, and it basically is like co-conspirators with Gojo, because Gojo has been blamed for the Shibuya incident. And so Ogi is also wounded Mai, and he defeats Maki. So he leaves the twins to be dead. So Mai resuscitates Maki, and Mai sacrifices herself. And basically what that does is it removes whatever barriers on Maki. So with twins, the issue is there's whatever cursed energy pool there is, like twins share it. So they're not, so their power is always held back by the existence of their twin. Now when Mai kills sacrifices herself, she basically allows Maki to basically be basically a peak physical strength, and allows her to just kill everyone in the entire Zenin clan. So it basically, so her heavenly restriction is as powerful as Toji's. So Maki basically wipes out the entire clan, including her father and mother, including Nalia, and basically she just wipes them all out. Now now Maki and Mai's mother. So Nalia you know they don't, and he doesn't die immediately. Maki and Mai's mother doesn't die immediately. Nalia tries to find Maki, and Maki and Mai's mother stabs him, finishing him off. And before she dies, she admits she's proud of the two twins, because basically the twins were basically hated. The twins are not really well liked in Jujutsu Society because of the whole issue with the heavenly restriction. So the Zenin clan is gone. You know. And then next episode, so Yaga is basically he secretly has cursed power that can be compared with a special grade, because he could create an army of cursed corpses like Panda and Takaru. So Takaru is Kusakabe's nephew, who is resurrected, whose soul was resurrected within the cursed corpse. So after Shibuya incident, Gaku Ganji um, carried out Yaga's execution, and Panda escapes with Kusakabe's help. So Yuji and Megami are trying to find Hakuri and Kirara Hoshi, who were expelled third-year students from Jujutsu High. Basically, they run an illegal fight club for sorcerers, so they sneak in there. So Panda is also able to infiltrate. So Yuji does a mock fight with Panda, and basically try hide the fact that they're from Jujutsu High. So Hakuri, so impressed with Yuji's fighting abilities, Hakuri invites Yuji to be like his champion so they can make a bunch of money. And so he offers Yuji some alcohol. And Hakuri mentions that Gojo couldn't hold his liquor. Yuji asks who Gojo was, and Hakuri's like, every sorcerer knows who Gojo is. And then he's like, all right, why'd you feign interest? Did you know? Did Jujutsu send you? And then it starts a fight. He gets a call from Kiara, and Hakuri's like, if I get called, he says that if he gets a call from Kiara, that means something's up. So that leads to a standoff between Yuji and Hakuri. And so in Megami and Panda, they were talking while this is going on about trying to infiltrate, but Kiara's first technique is keeping them from getting close to like the office. So yeah, so I thought it was a good episode. Not a lot happens. Like basically, like you have like you have Yaga's death. Like you have Yuji and like Megami going towards the Fight Club. Like the episode went by fast. I was like, that's it. Wow, this episode went by quick. But yeah, I thought it was a good episode. I liked it, like how they're setting up the Cullen game, building up to it. Because that's right now we're in the build up. So yeah, I thought it was a good episode. Looking forward to the next one. MF Goes Season 3, Episodes 4 and 5. So these episodes, so the the race ends, and so Kanta will get to where he gets second place. So he's on podium. So yeah, so basically Michael Beckenbauer got first, and so basically, so one of the things if they make racer makes podium, then they like basically the racer gets a kiss from one of the angels. And so Kanta said he didn't have a preference, so one of Rin's coworkers who knows about Kanta living in Rin's house asked someone to have Rin be the one to give Kanta a kiss on the cheek. Which happens, and Rin speaks and reveals to Kanta that she's an angel. Kanta's shocked, and dude, it's so funny, Kanta's reaction. Like, it's actually really freaking funny. Like, yeah, I thought this was yeah, I thought it was freaking funny. 'Cause it was awkward for everyone, because like, obviously, I was into Rin, and he's like, so for this, he's like, yeah, it'd be awkward. Like, I thought it was a funny bit. So you have Kanta's reaction to it, telling, like trying to explain, like, obviously to his, like, to like his operator or whatever, like, the whole, he's like, what? Like, it's so funny. Then the next episode, basically, like, so Kanta and Ren, they go on a trip to, like, they go to where, like, Ren's grandmother lives. Like, basically, like, so there's like a whole scene where like so they ride so Ren and Kanta ride in the back of the K truck, which so the grandmother drives like very well. And so yeah, so and it's funny how Ren's father is jealous because they took the 8-6 car there, and he's like he was jealous because Ren's being able to ride in the 8-6 car with Kanta driving. And so like, there's like a funny where they're catching dragonfly. Like it's funny. It's a funny like slice of life episode. Overall, I thought these were both good episodes. Looking forward to the next one. Sentenced to be a Hero, episodes 3 and 4. So in these episodes, Xylo, with help from Norgal and Tatsuya, defeats the fairies and saves all the miners. And basically, apparently, there's some voice that caused miners to change into fairies. And so, basically, but the fairies, like a larger wave arises, starts to overwhelm them. Hirita defeats them, even though Xylo told her to basically stay behind. And so, yeah, so basically, everyone hears like a loud sound ends up being like from the demon lord Lotus. So Tatsuya is unaffected by the attack, which is called tinnitus, named after the ear disease. So Tatsuya fights Lotus and Xylo helps. Now, ends up being a decoy, so they gotta find the real body. The real body was just trying to kill the Holy Knights. So, yeah, so Norgolf is immobilized after failing to defeat Lotus with a sacred seal. And Norgolf cuts his leg off in order to free himself. And stun Lotus, and Xylo defeats it. And then, yeah, and so all the miners return to their homes. Kivia defends the heroes for how they handle things, even because they were being criticized for violating some rules. And the leader of the miners, and his family thank Xylo for saving him despite his status, despite the fact that he's basically a crook, like a convicted criminal. And so then, like everyone, they all arrive at Reed Fortress during the Great Exchange Festival for their next mission. So Tyria wants Xylo to come to the festival with her, and Kivia, lets him out so Tyria could attend the festival, and Kivia tells Xylo that she's actually happy that he may have packed her because the military was actually. So Tyria is considered the weakest of all the goddesses. Because apparently, I guess summoning swords is considered to be the weakest ability. I'm wondering what the other abilities are, if that's considered the weakest. But apparently the military was going to use her as experiments to make more gods, like make goddesses, make some weapons. The reason is because when Xylo killed, um, like when Xylo killed Sinerva, that the military was had an idea to bring new goddesses under their control to make weapons. And the temple was not happy about it. So there was conflict between the temple and the military. And Ivy and her soldiers, they were ordered to take Tiorita to the military. They were not having apparently their suicide mission, their suicide raid, where they were going to fight. That was meant to be atonement for what happened, what they were ordered to do. And Xylo making a pact with Tyria actually helped save Tiorita. And especially with Xylo defeating two demon lords, people are seeing that Tyria could actually be useful. And so the next mission is to defend Reed Fortress and defeat the demon lord Iblis. And Venetum, who's one of the other heroes, remembers when he was a con man who was arrested for trying to sell the royal palace to a circus. But his sentence, the reason he was sentenced, because he knew about all the corruption in the kingdom, and it was to keep him silent. superhero named Sav does some gambling and he cuts off the dealer's hand because the dealer was cheating. Yeah. So I thought it was a really good episode. These episodes were really good. We see like looks like the heroes are starting to be seen more in the positive light. You see Kivia's development and how she treats Silo. And obviously Silo's getting more used to Tiorita. And we see like, how this is going. Like, you know, he could be killing 3 demon lords. Like basically he would be like obviously like people are gonna be seeing him in a positive light. A hero which is like a basically Suicide Squad as far as like in DC terms. And then yeah, making a pact with the goddess and defeating 3 demon lords. That's gonna be interesting. See how it develops. Because I've seen like in the part of the premise of what that will lead to if people start seeing the public sees them in a positive light. We can see what that's about to lead to. And that could be interesting. So yeah, I thought this was a really good episode. Looking forward to the next one. Star Trek Starfleet Academy, episodes 3 and 4. So in these episodes, you have the the cadets are basically they're being taught a game for Calica, which is basically kind of like laser tag. So you have whoever does the best becomes captain, and so Dan Raimi and Genesis Live both want the title of captain. Genesis wanting to step out of the shadow of her father, who's a high-ranking officer, and so then like there's a whole rivalry that builds up between the War College and Starfleet Academy, with some cadets at the War College when they're bringing Starfleet cadets by transporting them to various locations while they were changing the locker room. So some of them were butt naked. Now there was a whole deal about the. I was surprised they had a co-ed changing room. I was like, wait, they divide between men and women. And I was also found it weird that a hologram needed a changing room. That that is just retarded. It's a freaking hologram. I mean, a hologram shouldn't be a student in academy anyway. Like, anyway. But yeah, so then, yeah, so Darren becomes team captain, and so there's a little bit of Caleb asked Terry about why she joined the War College, and he was wondering if she did to avoid him. She says it's because she needs the discipline that the War College put in her. So then you have this whole rank war. So you have Laura Thok, the drill sergeant who cannot pass off as a drill sergeant at all. I'm sorry, you can't have like she ain't physically fit enough to be a drill sergeant. She doesn't have the presence of one. Like drill sergeants need a presence. She does not have a presence. She tries to get knowledge. She has the Chancellor Ake to help. Ake doesn't care. Ake just sits very casually in her in her like chair, like laying back, not very professional, not very becoming of a Starfleet officer. Ake doesn't get intervened, but tells the cadets to, I guess, study the Vitus reflux, which is some empathy fungus. I don't know. And yeah, so basically, so the Starfleet cadets challenge the War College to a secret Galactic match. Darren's strategy does not work well, so Genesis becomes captain again. And so the strategy, so her strategy involves using Sam's hologram abilities to obscure the opponent's views, and Bach and Reno break up the match, send the cadets to Ake, who criticizes him for not taking her advice and saying no to do forced labor. And Darren's mad, pissed off because his parents are not responding to Amy's messages. And Reno, mentions confides to Darren about her relationship with Laura. So yeah, she left the USS Discovery to be with Laura, and tells him to think about how he treated Genesis. So Darren and Genesis reconcile, basically, and so Genesis realizes that Ake had been dropping a few hints here and there about how to win the prank war, and basically the plans made to sneak into the war college, sabotage him, and then basically so Caleb info sneaks in, Terima catches him. She admits she has feelings for him, but she sounds the alarm. So the virus reflux grows out of control in the college dorms, and Kelrick admits that that his cadets lost to Starfleet cadets. And Ake explains to Caleb that one of the things Starfleet members need to do is use ways to disarm opponents without resorting to conflict. And Darren, concedes the title captain to Genesis, since he says she's more ready to lead than he is, and he sends another message to his parents. And then the next episode, so this focuses on Jade and Krog, the Klingon. So he's concerned that his parents were killed in a starship crash on the way to a refugee camp because of the burn. The Klingon Empire was destroyed. So Klingons are an endangered species. And then there's an issue of, they need a new plan because Kronos is basically uninhabitable. Now, Admiral Vance finds a planet called Fawn Alpha in Federation airspace that has similar conditions to Kronos. So Vance asks Ake to propose a solution to the Klingons to have them sail there. She recommends it to Klingon General Obo Wilchok, who, let's just say, very obviously was a ex-boyfriend of hers. And she offers Silo. Wilchok says that Klingon pride, they can't make charity from the Federation. They can't. As is Klingon, and you have where Jaden remembers his battle. He refused to kill. How his death. How he has his issues with his family. How his parents abandoned him on planet. So Thok, who's part Klingon, explains some things to him, helps mentor him. And so there's a whole debate thing that the doctor's class is running. So debate becomes about how to deal with the refugee crisis with the Klingons. So Caleb recommends that Starfleet should help them. Jane says that Starfleet should not, because it is not the Klingon way to accept charity, and Starfleet should not the Federation should not make the Klingons stop being Klingons. And it gets heated enough to where basically the doctor sends them basically off the stage to their rooms. And so after conversation with Thok, Jane gets on stage. He proposes an idea which is Jane Pro's idea to have where the Federation would falsely accuse the Klingons of trying to conquer Fane Alpha, and the Klingons would be quote quote go to war with the Federation. Federation would surrender after no casualties, and the Klingons would quote quote conquer Fane Alpha. And so that happens. Obel tells Jaden that his family survived the crash, and he gives him a bow made by Jaden's father. So Obel seems to notice the ruse. So okay, here's my fourth episode is probably the most watchable out of them. Now that's a low bar to set because they're all freaking bad. Like gosh, it's a terrible Star Trek show. Like here's the thing with the Klingons. Like look, like it is way too monotone. Like stoic does not have to be monotone. Like Worf in Next Generation, DS9, he was very stoic. He was not monotone. You could hear emotion in how he acted, how the voice worked. You could hear emotion, even though he was very stoic. That's how Worf was. Worf was a Klingon. Yes, he was very different than other Klingons, and that was always the thing about how Worf handled balancing being a Starfleet member and being a Klingon. That was always a Jaden. That is not. They don't do that well with Jaden. Like gosh, the prank war was so freaking retarded. He's like, if thou shalt not once, thou shalt not again. Oh, goody, a pun. Yay. As if no one's used that one before. Like, like the Kurtzman pulled out his butt 'cause no wonder it smells like crap. I mean, gosh, yes, using any teacher would say, look, would not let the Klingons crisis be brought up as a debate conversation, especially when you have a Klingon. I get why Jane, look, he's a Klingon, but he's like, hey, I'm a Klingon, we're not gonna care. We'll do it, like, and here's the thing, why would a Klingon recommend a fake fight? I mean, here's like, the Klingons would not be happy to learn if they learned that that is a fake fight. They would not be happy about it. And it's like, you did what? And I'm also like, hang on, so charity, okay, I can understand that, but is there not like a deal, like a purchase? Like, why not something in trade? Like, when would trade not be allowed for Klingon tradition? I can understand charity, but would trading not be allowed? Does it have to be conquest? Can it not be like a negotiation? Because gosh, like there's some dumb things in this. Like these were such bad episodes. But yeah, I thought these were like these all sucked. I'll watch next week's Shelter. So this is a new movie starring Jason Statham. So Statham plays Michael Mason, who's a former MI6 agent, former member of the British military. So he lives in a lighthouse, inoperable lighthouse with his dog, who he never named, um, and a girl named and an orphan named Jessie, and her uncle, who served with Mason, like deliver supplies to the lighthouse. by boat. Out there in the storm, um, Jesse almost drowns. Mason saves her, but her uncle is trapped in the boat, and the boat sinks, so he dies. So, man, Jesse's hurt. He has swollen foot, scarred foot, and so Mason helps her recover. And when supplies for medicine, bandage stuff for glow, he goes to town to get some. He tries to avoid cameras, but he ends up on some social media influencers live stream. So he gets exposed to MI6, and now his identity shows up as like a terrorist, like a Muslim terrorist, which he's obviously not. I mean, let's say Jason Statham very obviously does not look like that guy. And so yeah, so Roberta Frost sends MI6 agents. So Mason kills the strike team, but the strike team kills the dog. Now Jesse had named the dog Jack, and so Jack's killed, and so Mason and Jesse go on the run, and and so MI6 is trying to chase them. Then so former MI6 director Manafort, um, like Stephen Manafort, played by Bill Nye, um, so like he sends an agent called Workman after Mason. So Manafort was had basically the Thea program was like a MI6 program to illegally protect private information of people in order to flag potential terrorist attacks. And while it did allow threats to be identified, it was very illegal. And basically, Manafort was officially he was forced into retirement. Unofficially, he's in the shadows. And the prime minister was drawing on it. Basically, Manafort was going to be the scapegoat. Yeah, so man, and then we don't really see the prime minister again after that one scene. So Manafort sends workmen after Mason. So Roberto learns about Mason and all that, what happened, and she learns that Manafort's basically going rogue, and so basically Mason employs the help of some one of the developers of Thea who helped him disappear, then a human trafficker who he had worked with for MI6 or to help get you know be help to get Jesse out of the country, and he then kills Workman. Then he finds Manafort and kills him. And so yeah, so Jesse then I guess lives in Spain, wherever CIA, MI6 is keeping an eye on her, and yeah, so then Mason I guess stays away. Gives her a chess piece as a gift, then disappears. So we don't know if this will be the only one, or this will be or this will be the first of a multi-series, multi-film series. Because with the prime minister technically, I guess, basically still potentially being a threat, that could set up more movies. So overall, I thought it was a great movie. The action was awesome. Statham was great. Bill Nye was great. I thought overall it was a really good movie. I highly recommend watching it. Well, and that's it. Did, did y'all like the stuff I reviewed? And if you have your own opinions about all that, you put all that in the comments. Thank you for watching, and like, subscribe, and all that. And look forward to the next video.